Hey everyone, it's me Sam, and I really wanted to make a video about how I became homeless in South Korea. I really felt like I needed to make this video and get it out there because I know that there is someone out there who is struggling and who are wondering, hey, is my dream ever gonna come to pass? Is it really all in vain what I've been going through? And I'm here to tell you that no, that's not true at all. And I am a living testimony to that. Anything that you set your mind to, you can definitely reach it. So anyway, without further ado, let me tell you how I became homeless in South Korea. So first off, I was 15 years old when I was very much into K-dramas. I needed an outlet, and K-dramas became that outlet for me. And it got me curious about South Korea, I'll tell you that. It really did. So I had a love for it, and it's not until years later when I was at home and pretty much broke and really wondering, where is my life going, that I wanted to make a change. And the biggest change was to go to South Korea. I didn't know anyone who was living in South Korea, but I decided that I needed to go. I needed to leave South Miami. No one knew I was leaving. And for a long time, I didn't think it could happen for me to leave, and to just the whole idea of going to another country. I was broke, I didn't have a job, no car, I didn't have anybody to support me, to tell me, hey, you know what, you can go out there and do it. If anything, I had so much negativity in my life. It was to a point where even my best friends were just like, Sam, really? You really want to go to South Korea? I didn't tell anybody until literally the ending days when I was ready to give up. I was ready to just call it quits. And it took a long time for me to get to South Korea. Picture this. So many people, so many teachers are posting, hey, I've been trying to get to South Korea for 2 weeks, and now suddenly I have a job, yay! And for me, it wasn't the case at all. I was looking up any posts about teaching opportunities. I even had a recruiter. I had a few recruiters, in fact, and no one was landing me jobs. I even tried my own approach, tried to land jobs on Craigslist, and even then it was a struggle. But yet everyone, it seemed, had this opportunity, this wonderful opportunity to go to Korea. I was so defeated, I was feeling so depressed. But then finally, after months, I believe 11, 12, a year, but it was 11 months when I finally got the congratulations, you're going to South Korea, yay! I was so pumped. I thought that it was going to change my world for the better to live abroad, and gosh, I'm going to see some really good looking South Korean men. I really had those thoughts that, hey, you know what, I'll finally make it on my own. It was time for me to leave Miami for South Korea, and the day I get to the airport, my co-teachers are there for my arrival. They're so gracious, and they're so welcoming, like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're here. Mind you, I have been corresponding with Jen, one of my co-teachers, and she is the assistant director, and it was great to finally meet her after corresponding with her online for over a month. And you know what? It was awesome. And then when I arrive to where I am going to teach, I was a little shocked. Where I was supposed to work, it was on a campus, a church campus. And on that campus, there was a building where the students will be taught. And in that building was an apartment for both the teachers. That meant where you work was also where you ate, where you slept. And you would always see your students, even in your 90s, if you are wanting to leave downstairs because, you know, probably you haven't had that class that day, any classes you're not assigned to, you have a break, or anything for that matter, you're going to run into your classmates. And where I was stationed at, where I was teaching, it was a small community. So everyone knew who I was, and without even me knowing them and being introduced to them. So it was an interesting world, to say the least. It was an interesting time in my life. The first week I'm there, I am completely jet lagged. The day I got off the airplane was a Sunday, and the next day I start teaching. I start teaching to students that I didn't think I was going to teach, first off. I made it specifically clear before I came to Korea that I want to teach students who are elementary school age. But when I arrived, I was teaching babies ages 2 in Korea. So from students who are 2 years of age to 16 years of age, I was teaching. And like I said, I wanted to teach elementary students. That was insane. The first day I arrive and I'm teaching all these students, and it's not within my age group. So number 2, besides the jet lag, I was also sick. I came in South Korea jet lag and sick. Maybe it's because of the temperature change, and maybe it's the anxiety of packing up and getting everything ready to leave for another country. I don't know, but I was sick, and it was for a while. I was sick for 3 weeks. The first week I had the flu. I had to shadow a teacher, the director's wife. Let's call her Jen. And Jen was an interesting character. She was nice. She was the director's wife. And she taught me a few things about what she expects with teaching, but she wasn't very, let's say, happy. She didn't seem very happy to teach. She taught very well. I'm not going to lie. She taught very well, but she wasn't really, there's a certain energy that you bring if you really want to teach. She and her husband, they are American. And they told me an interesting story about, hey, all of a sudden the director was like, hey, don't you want to come here to South Korea and teach? And they're like, yeah, okay, sure. And they did not know what they were getting themselves into. So this is another lesson. If the director or if anyone else feels like, in your school, let's say you're already in South Korea and they feel like they're not very invested in teaching students, that should be a little hint that it may not be a good situation for you. The second week that I'm there, it is starting to get cold. And the second week, I am so jet lagged still, to the point where I missed a day. I missed a day of teaching because I went in for a nap because I had like an hour or so break. And then I never woke up. So by the time I woke up, it was time for dinner. So at dinner, that's where I had to do the walk of shame and be like, to my co-teachers and everyone else, especially the director and the director's wife, who I was shadowing, Jen. Hey, I'm sorry, I was so exhausted. Oh my gosh, I was freaking out. I thought that I was fired, but I wasn't. And they were like, okay, I understand. But mind you, I didn't know until a little later that that was going to count against me. So the third week comes and there's an evaluation. I am shocked because I never heard of an evaluation before. I learned about this evaluation 2 days prior when my co-teacher, one of the co-teachers that I met at the airport, let's name her Sarah, Sarah, she told me, and she's the assistant director. She told me, hey, the director wants to meet with you and talk with you. I wasn't feeling very confident, I will tell you that much, because when you're shadowing someone else, you may, let's say, you may feel as though you are incompetent because the person that you're shadowing may be the one who doesn't want you to teach. I couldn't fault her because I was a newbie and I really didn't know much about teaching, at least in South Korea, in that environment. Anyway, so I was like, okay, cool. So I have an evaluation that I have to prepare for? Okay. Yay! The day of evaluation comes and I am supposed to teach. My director, he goes and sits in the back, way back, and the students are already distracted. They're like, oh, hey, director, hi, how's it going? And he's like, no, don't pay attention to me. And I was already so nervous, but this director, sorry about that. Hi, okay, so my camera died. So the director, he sits right in the back, way in the back, and he has a big old folder and some paper, and he starts writing away the moment that I start the class. And I'm so nervous. I am really nervous because I know this evaluation is going to be, hey, can you control the class? How do you teach? Are your lessons on point? And I knew he was going to be very critical because, one, he is the director, so he's going to have to. So I had to bring in my A game. So this class that I was being evaluated for was for an elementary class, but there were certain students in that class who did not like me because I replaced their old teacher. I was dubbed and named as bad teacher. Bad teacher. Oh my gosh. All right, it's gonna be difficult. Maybe the students will actually be good with me. You know, maybe this evaluation will not go terrible. It won't be terrible. Well, it didn't work out. The students did not want to pay attention to me at all. They would talk amongst themselves while I would teach, and at the same time I'm supposed to be lively, bubbly, and get them motivated. So it was a tricky balance. When students don't like you, they're not motivated to even work with you. Not even 10 minutes, the director got up from his seat and he was like, I'll see you. That was all he said. I'll see you. Thank you. And he closed my door and I almost started to cry. And so I saw him in the cafeteria. This is during the evening where all the teachers are gathered. And so the director and his wife, Jen, and let's call him Mitchell and Sarah, and they were asking, especially the director, oh, how's it going? How's your life back home? And I was like, wow, you're asking these personal questions about my life back home? Huh? Why? Little did I know there was a reason behind it. The next day, I get a knock on my door, and it's the assistant director. And I'm like, oh, Jen, how's it going? And she's like, well, Sam, the director, Mitchell, he wants to talk to you. He wants to speak to you, and I'll be there too. So it'll be good. It'll be okay. And I was like, okay, the director wants to speak to me. I don't think that's really good. In my mind, I'm thinking all of this. I had breakfast. We met together. We had our meeting. And the director was pretty quiet, I'm not going to lie, which was kind of crazy for me, you know, because that's not his personality at all. He's very, very extra. So then the end of the meeting comes and he says, oh, Sam and Jen, will you come with me, please? Sam, there's something I need to speak to you about. won't you come to my office? Come on, let's go to my office, let's go. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now he's perky, and okay. I walk with him to his office with Jen. When I sit down, I'm a little nervous, but I think I know what's coming. And he started to spiel, hey, how's it going back home, and this and that. And I'm like, okay, can we just cut to it, you know? And then he does. Sure enough, he says, well, Sam, you have been teaching here for a few weeks. We loved your video that you made before you even came to South Korea. And that won us over when it came to who got the job. And I was like, wow, okay, great. And he continues and says, but sadly, I did not know that you weren't an English major. And I was like, huh? What do you mean you don't know that I was an English major? And he says, we were looking for a teacher of that right, who has that degree, and you don't have it. And I said, but I made it quite clear that I was a communications major. I did not graduate for a degree in teaching, nor did I go for a degree in English. Okay, wow, it's so hot. It's super hot here. I think I'm going to just take a moment here. But yes, I made it quite clear from the very beginning that I am not a teacher. I don't have that degree, but I want him over because I had some skills and criterias that he loved, and he thought, hey, let's give her a shot, you know? And a shot that he did. He gave me a shot. And so he says, yes, I see. It's just, we thought you would get acquainted with your classes, you would know how to teach right away, you would get to understand our methods here, but it seems as though you're not gathering information as quick as we would like. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know it's coming, and well, we need to let you go. But it's okay though, because it's November and it's Thanksgiving in a couple of days. You'll be just in time at home to have Thanksgiving with your family. My mind was worrying a mile a minute. Like, what am I supposed to do? What am I gonna do? Oh my gosh, I have no money. So then he added, well, we're going to pay you the amount that you've earned for the past few weeks that you've worked with us. And I was like, okay, well, at least I have that. And I'm making plans. As I'm making plans, he's speaking, he's going on and on and on about, we wish that you could stay, but tell me, Sam, when do you think that you're going to leave? Tomorrow? I was like, and I said, yeah, that's not possible. Give me a week. I knew that I had to say that. I had to stay in South Korea. I don't know why, but I knew that I needed to stay, that I wasn't done with anything. I didn't accomplish anything. So 3 weeks goes by and I go back home like a failure? No, I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be that at all. So I did the cool thing and I stayed in South Korea. And I will tell you this, I was homeless for a long time in a foreign country. I do not recommend this at all. So in total, it was 6 months I was homeless. My homeless moments were the hardest, craziest, beautiful moments of my life. 2 years. I spent 2 years in South Korea, even though everybody was like, yo, what are you doing? I know if I didn't have God in my life, there's no way I could have gone through what I went through. So if you could just hit that like button, share this video, and also comment, and hit that notification button, you know, that little ping, please. I really want to encourage other people that even though my situation is probably not the same as you, if you're going through something very terrible at this moment in time, you can definitely overcome. Everything and anything is possible if you set your mind to something, and you will achieve your goals. So I am Sam, signing off now, and I'll see you in the next one.